Yes, I'm Karsten. I'm from Unity Technologies. We have been using OpenNebula for a long time, since 3-something. Today I'm going to talk about network automation with VR, specifically a feature that we funded. Just a little background on what we're doing. Our setup, I think we're using 15 different data centers across 2 different cloud providers, and then we have some co-location, and also we use SoftLayer as a rental hardware platform. We use OpenNebula to manage our own private cloud. We have around 3,000 VMs and around 10,000 containers. We use EBS from Amazon and Ceph storage. And then we also use Akamai as one of our CDN providers. Last month we pushed around 45 petabytes of data through CDN. So I guess you have all heard about the cattle versus pets, and why you should choose one from the other. Automation is something that everybody is talking about, that you need in order to drive large-scale infrastructure, at least to some extent. And we also try to apply that actually to the networking infrastructure, so that we can tear down our networking infrastructure and rebuild it from scratch on the same approach. Amazon has been kind enough to actually tell us that this is important, because if anybody has run anything in Amazon, they know that things disappear from Amazon, and you have to be able to recreate them from nothing. So I think this concept also more or less is also driven by cloud infrastructure. At least pets has been around much longer than the cattle concept. Automation and automatic. So automation is one thing you can create. We use SaltStack for those who are unfamiliar with the top one. Basically, it tells you that this system should have this state, and it should always have this state. And you can reapply that state always. That's nice. You still need a person doing that. The bottom one actually just says that SaltStack has an event engine. So if this event occurs, you should do this for me. One kind of applies the other, so you need to have done your automation in order to get to automatic. But automatic is nice because then you don't have to get up at night if your alarm or monitoring tells you to do anything. It will basically just do it for you, and hopefully you have done it right and you are safe. So how does it apply to networking? Between our 15 different data centers, we have done some backbone network based on IPsec tunnels and some leased lines and different kinds of things, in order to glue everything together in a nicely private routed backbone. That way we can at least keep our communication from the public cloud, public internet. So the problem that we faced, at least with our first installations of OpenNebula, was that we had a default gateway, and that was, you could set up HA default gateways if you wanted to, but it doesn't really scale if you wanted to have some scale out functionality. So we went and talked with OpenNebula about how we could mitigate that problem, and came up with the virtual router concept. And so we removed the default gateway limitations, or at least a better way of dealing with it, because then we had gateways per network definitions. So instead of having one gateway handling all the networks, we have at least one gateway per network. Very easy manageable, I think, after we ironed out the first trial and errors. So right now, one of the nice concepts of OpenNebula is everything is simple, so you just create a contextualization script that will actually add every new virtual router into our OSPF network, so it's automatically routed. We don't have to do anything, we just start up the virtual router and we're good to go. So that's really nice for us also, that our experience with OpenNebula has been that everything is kind of simple, as we talked about during last night's drinks, that it's really hard to talk about problems with OpenNebula, because how do we actually point out difficulties, because it's simple. So I were fast enough, I guess. Questions?
Does anyone have any questions?
How do you manage the virtual router identities, like the unique IDs they get on each network? How do you manage them, that you don't hand out the same ID to another virtual network?
That's actually based on the IP that is you get from you get your IP from your network contextualization. So the IP that OpenNebula actually hands out to your virtual router is used for to also do the what is it? Yeah, the route ID is put in. So unless OpenNebula introduces a network conflict, which I hope they don't, it should be pretty safe.
Okay, thanks.
Any more questions?
Hi, good morning. What do you use the CDN for?
We operate one of the, I think it's number 3 largest ads network for mobile. We have so the Unity engine also is used for, I think it's 90% of all mobile games or something. That and advertising inside the mobile games, video advertising, is run by us. It's an easily integrated plugin. So actually, I failed to mention we also have a CDN provider in China.
Okay, thanks.
Any more questions? No? Thank you very much, Karsten.